It's Laura here from Get Organized HQ, and I want to share with you how I organize one of the trickiest things to organize. I think many of you will agree with me, and that is cords. I feel like we all have so many different cords, and it can get out of control quickly. So I'm going to show you some different ways that you can organize your cords and how I like to organize my cords. Now, if you like hearing about different organizing solutions, then I think you will love my entire channel, so go ahead and click subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. No matter how you organize your cords, one of the first things that you're going to want to do is take each cord and secure it to itself so it stays in a nice, tight little circle and doesn't get all tangled up. I think we all have experience where you've got just like a big mess of cords and they get all tangled with each other. That is not a fun experience, so we want to avoid that. So in many methods of storing, you're first going to want to find a way to corral your cords. Now, I have a lot of different options here. I have tried a ton of these out for you, so I've done the hard work for you. I just love testing new organizing products, and I love corralling cords. So I'm going to start and tell you what I found that works and what doesn't. So this is one way of corralling cords, these little things, like they're silicone, I think, and they have a space on either side, and you're supposed to put the cord in like that. These are not my favorite for a few reasons. It doesn't fit a lot of different sizes of cords. You're going to need to store a lot of different sizes of these. Often you'll start wrapping a cord and you'll realize it's too big, and you'll need to go up a size. I feel like they just take longer to put in. So these would not be my favorite method, although it's totally an option. If you like it, go for it. The second method that I like, fine, this would be my second favorite, is these little strips of fabric with snaps. If you're a sewer, you could definitely make these yourself. If you're not, I got these on Etsy. I have no complaints about these. I love how lightweight and small they are, so like they're great for travel. All you do is you put it around the cord like this and snap it on, and you'll see this one stays nice and snug and tight. What I don't love as much about this particular method is that it's not as versatile. Like there's no real stretch in this, so it's not gonna hold, like say this tiny skinny cord, it's not gonna hold that nearly as tightly, and some cords are gonna be too big for it. So that would be the downside of this little fabric strip method. Next up, we have two methods that are very similar, and these are by far my favorite methods. So these are made out of silicone, and these shoelace looking ones are not stretchy. These magnet ones are actually quite stretchy. So if you can see how much they stretch. So this is really versatile. These are also, the magnet ones are fairly affordable. I got these in a big batch with a whole bunch of different colors. You could get really fancy with the color coding. I personally don't, but you could. I got these in I think 20 of them came together on Amazon. This magnet is super strong. Like they stick to each other. I love how strong the magnet is. So with these, all you do is you take your cord, and I like corralling it as tightly as I can because then it's gonna take up less space and just be a tight little unit. Okay, so then you're gonna take this and you're just gonna wrap the cord. And see, it's a very strong magnet, so sometimes it likes to wrap before I'm quite ready, likes to attach itself. Then all you do is you put the two magnets on each other, and I have that really, really tight, and it's not going anywhere because of how strong the magnets are. If you really wanted to, you could also do another one right here if you didn't want this to go anywhere. Personally, I am fine with that, but you could totally do that. So I love these magnet ones. The other ones that I really, really love are these shoelace looking ones here. I will link to these. They're available on Amazon. They come in different lengths. So this is the 5-inch, and I think that this is about double. Yes, so that would be a 10-inch, obviously, for larger cords. They look obviously like shoelaces, but they do not have the texture. Like they're not stretchy. Like you can't stretch it, but it's very flexible but sturdy. So like when I hold it like that, it is staying. So it's really going to hold your cord really, really nicely. So all you're gonna do is come to the cord, put it under it, and then just try to wrap it as tightly as you can. And that is all there is to it. So I have a lot of these. I really like these. I can highly recommend these. So these are just the different ways that I would recommend making sure that you keep your cords tightly wound before you put them in storage. My favorite way, and I know this is a little bit unconventional for storing my cords in my office, is by using this divided Lazy Susan. Now I have an entire video on how I like to use these Lazy Susans. Go ahead and click the link down below if you're interested in that. But this is how I corral my cords. So these are built-in dividers, and I have a section here for power bricks is what these are called. So anytime I need a power brick, I can just grab one quickly out of here. It's ready to go, and then I pair it with the other cord that I need. My next section of cords these are all your USB to, I think this is called Lightning, but these are just your normal iPhone connectors. I also have iPads that use these. These are my most frequently used cords, and you can see I have various different sizes of these cords, and I put all of these type of connectors in one place because I have so many, and that's my most frequently used. Then as we come around here, these are all of my adapters. So in my office, I will use these often for connecting one thing to the next when there isn't a straightforward way to connect it. So I have all of those right here. This was a huge game changer. I used to have them in different locations, and then I was always like, oh, where's that connector that I need to plug this into my laptop because it doesn't have a traditional USB port? So this made all of that easy. Then as we move around, our next section here, you'll see that I have all of these are smaller connectors, but they are not USB to the standard iPhone connector. So this one, it has like a different, this is not a USB and it goes to the iPhone. This one is just like two different types of connectors. Now there's several different types in here, but because I only have like one of each and I don't use them all the time, it made sense for me to just put them all in one section. My next section is for what I call cord control. So these are all of the different cord controllers that I have. So if I get a new cord, or it could be an existing cord, and I need to make it stay together, I have all of those just in this section. And that is my entire cord Lazy Susan. Another fantastic way to corral cords are with these little boxes that I got on Amazon. I don't even think they have a fancy name. I think they're just called storage boxes. They're about 3 by 3 inches, but they also have some other sizes as well. I love how small they are, so you're not gonna waste any space. You can fit many different power bricks. Now I couldn't fit like my huge laptop power brick in here, but I can fit like your traditional iPhone one, this is a Samsung one, so a lot of different ones will fit in there very, very nicely. I would highly recommend labeling them. I just use my regular label maker. Here I have a DSLR camera cord that fits nicely right in there. Now again, these are skinnier cords. Some really large cords wouldn't fit. And I also think that if you're putting them in here, while I do have them corralled with this little tool, I don't think that's necessary because this is so small and you'll probably only have one. I think you could totally skip that step if you're using these. This is your traditional iPhone cord. It's a little longer than some, but it still fits in here really nicely. And then these are a couple of my smaller adapters. This is a USB to Lightning, I think it's called, for my MacBook that doesn't have a traditional USB. This is like a phone to like something. I'm not even sure. I don't know what all these are called. And then this is the iPhone to like a traditional headphone, and so those all fit in there. Now you could do one per if you really wanted to be super organized, and because these are so tiny, they will fit in glove boxes, they will fit in a lot of car consoles. You could easily throw these in a bag or put them in like a travel bag for if you're going on an airplane or something like that. They just fit in so many different places. One of the most straightforward methods for storing cords that totally works is just what I call the dump and go method. So you just have a bin, an innocent looking bin like this. Of course, I would have this one labeled, and I just toss all the cords in. Now, if you're gonna do this, the main thing that I recommend is that you make sure that instead of just tossing the cords in, that you do some type of cord control first. Otherwise, they're just gonna be a big tangled mess. And there's a lot in here. You can store a lot in one bin. You could get like a decorative basket if this is in your living room. There are so many options here. I would say the downside to this method is obviously within this container, they're not super organized. So I would have to rifle through a little bit to be like, oh, where's that specific power brick or cord? But if you know you're not a person who wants to like micro-organize and you just want to throw everything in a bin, this will totally work for you. I hope that gave you some ideas on how to take control of your cords. Let me know in the comments below if you use any of these ideas and how you like to store your cords.